Good morning, everybody. This is Mrs. Abrams back out in the Berkshire house with my granddaughter Taylor and my granddog Cooper. And we are going to hear a wonderful story today called Caps for Sale, which is Mrs. Abrams' favorite story. But before we start, we have to sing our song, If You're Happy and You Know It. So help me along. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, and you really want to show it. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, stomp your feet. If you're happy and you know it, stomp your feet. If you're happy and you know it, and you really want to show it. If you're happy and you know it, stomp your feet. If you're happy and you know it, shout hooray, hooray. If you're happy and you know it, shout hooray, hooray. If you're happy and you know it, and you really want to show it. If you're happy and you know it, shout hooray, hooray. Here we go, Caps for Sale. And hopefully Cooper will listen to the story too, I don't know, but this is one of Taylor's favorite books, so. Once there was a peddler who sold caps, but he was not like any ordinary peddler, carrying his wares on his back. He carried them on top of his head. First he had on his checkered cap, and then a bunch of gray caps, a bunch of brown caps, a bunch of blue caps, and on the very top a bunch of red caps. And here they all are. Oh, I think Cooper likes the story. He walked up and down the street, holding himself very straight so as not to upset his caps. And as he went along, he called, and can you help me with this, Taylor? Caps, caps for sale, 50 cents a cap. Great. One morning, he couldn't sell any caps, and he walked up the street and he walked down the street calling, caps, caps for sale, 50 cents a cap. But nobody wanted any caps that morning. Nobody wanted even a red cap, and he began to feel very hungry, but he had no money for lunch. I think I'll go for a walk in the country, said he. And he walked out of town slowly so as not to upset his caps. There he goes. He walked for a very long time until he came to a great big tree. That's a nice place for a rest, thought he. And he sat down very slowly under the tree and leaned back little by little against the tree trunk so as not to disturb the caps on his head. And then he put up his hand to feel if they were straight. First his own checkered cap, then the gray caps and the brown caps and the blue caps and the red caps on the very top. There he is resting on his tree. They were all there. So he went to sleep, and he slept for a very long time. There's the sun shining. He's still sleeping. And when he woke up, he was refreshed and rested. There he is. But before standing up, he felt with his hand to make sure his caps were in the right place. All he felt was his own checkered cap. There he is. And he looked up to the right of him. No caps. And the left of him, no caps. And in back of him, no caps. And he looked behind the tree, and there were no caps. And then he looked up into the tree, and what do you think he saw? Here's the tree. On every branch sat a monkey. On every monkey was a gray or a brown or a blue or a red cap. There they are. The peddler looked at the monkeys, and the monkeys looked at the peddler, and he didn't know what to do. Finally, he spoke to them. He put up his finger, and he said, "You monkeys, you give me back my caps." But the monkeys only shook their fingers back at him and said, "Tss, tss, tss." There they are. Good job, Cooper. Good job, Taylor. This made the peddler angry, so he shook both hands at them and said, "You monkeys, you give me back my caps." But the monkeys only shook both their hands back at him and said, "Tss, tss, tss." And here they are. Now he felt quite angry, and he stamped his foot. He said, "You monkeys, you give me back my caps." But the monkeys only stamped their feet back at him and said, "Tss, tss, tss." And here they are. By this time, the peddler was really very, very angry, and he stamped both his feet and shouted, "You monkeys, you give me back my caps." But the monkeys only stamped back their feet and said, "Tss, tss, tss." Here they go. At last, he became so angry, he pulled off his cap, threw it on the ground, and began to walk away. But then each monkey pulled off his cap. There they are. And all the gray caps, brown caps, blue caps, red caps came flying down out of the tree. So the peddler picked up all his caps and put them back on his head. First his checky cap, then the gray caps, then the brown caps, and the blue caps, and the red caps on the very, very top. And here they all are lined up. I think Cooper's had it with the story. And slowly he walked back to town, calling, "Caps, caps for sale, 50 cents a cap." And that's the end of that book. Now, I have a second story today, and it's called How to Catch a Star, and it's by a great author, Oliver Jeffers, with beautiful illustrations. This is about a little boy and a star. Okay? I gotta look at it this way. Once there was a boy, and the boy loved stars very much. Every night, the boy watched the stars from his window and wished he had one of his very own. He dreamed of how the star would be his friend, and they would play hide and go seek and take long walks together. The boy decided he would try to catch one. He thought that getting up early in the morning would be the best. because the star would be so tired from being up in the sky all night. And the next day he set out at sunrise, but he couldn't see a star anywhere. So he sat down and waited for one to appear. He waited. He waited. He ate his lunch. He's waiting very good here. And waited until after dinner, and waited some more, and finally, just before the sun was about to go away, he saw a star. The boy tried to jump up and grab it, but he couldn't jump high enough. So very carefully he climbed to the top of the tallest tree he could find, but the star was still out of reach. He thought he might lasso the star with a life preserver from his father's boat, but it was much too heavy for him to carry. If only he could fly up in a spaceship and just grab the star, but the only spaceship he owned was made of paper, and it didn't fly well at all. Perhaps he could get a seagull to help him fly to the sky to reach the star, but the only seagull he could find didn't want to help. The boy worried he would never catch a star, and just then he noticed something floating in the water. It was the prettiest star he had ever seen, a baby star. It must have fallen from the sky. And he tried to fish it out with his hands, but when the boy reached out to touch the star, it just rippled through his fingers. Now the boy was sad, but in his heart the wish just wouldn't give up, and slowly he began to walk home. When he saw it, it washed up on the golden bright sand. There it is. Was he happy? Sure was. And the boy had caught a star of his very own. And that's the end of the story. Do you know what star he might have caught? Taylor, what is it, a real star from the sky, or was it an animal that we see on the beach that it looks like a star? What's it called? A star?
A sea star.
A sea star. Probably caught a sea star, didn't he? Yeah. So today we have a project, and we are doing masks. This is our last project for the summer, and Taylor's going to make one, but I'm going to just show you what's in your bag. If you've picked up your bag at the library, you get a mask that looks like this. Oh, we've got things hanging off of it. There we go. And it pops out, and you can wear it like a mask, and you can put on, what do we have here? Feathers. What else do we have on, Taylor? Stickers. Ooh, string for hair, maybe we can make for the mask. Oh, here's some really nice hearts that we have for the mask too to put on it. So everybody have a great time with your masks. If you haven't picked one up at the library, please go up and get it. You can color on it at home if you like to. And I hope you've enjoyed our Monday story times together. And have a great rest of the summer. I hope to see you soon. Bye.